Do you want to support me while also getting some cool WWE swag? Well, now you can, because I am an affiliate of WWEshop.com. Just head to the link in the description of this video, click that little bad boy, and it will bring up WWE Shop. Purchase as normal, whether it's shirts, whether it's championship titles, whether it's memorabilia, anything you want on WWE Shop, as long as you use my link, because doing so will give me a commission off your purchase. Therefore, you can support me and rep the WWE's latest swag all throughout their shop. So just head to the link in the description of this video, purchase as normal, and you're also supporting me.
No one said anything.
Whoop, whoop.
No one said anything
No,
this time.
yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Usually we're like,
fighting. But oh well.
Yeah, we're back again. Harder to shake than mono at the moment. We just keep coming back.
Episode 9?
Episode 9.
9.
Yep.
We've nearly hit double digits.
Yes, we have. How you been? How's your week been?
The usual, just I feel like every week is kind of the same lately.
Yeah.
Just working and tired and thinking about the next time. You're like, oh, when do I have some free time? And then you get to the free time, you do the same thing every single time, and then you start again.
Yeah. I feel that massively. I'm just like, it's almost like a bit of a rut that you get into. It's the same, monotonous. I mean, I don't know what it's like for you at your work, but I'm like, same start time, same finish time, Monday to Friday. Get home, get your shit done for tomorrow and go to bed. Do it all again.
Yep, it's the same. Will I get out on time today? When I get home, what am I going to do? I'm going to have my dinner, then I'll have a shower, and then I'll go to bed.
Yeah.
And then I'll wake up and I'll think about what I'm going to have for lunch that day at work, and then I eat lunch. And I do the same thing every single day.
Yeah. Yes. It just all sorts of melds into one, doesn't it? It's
the grind, as they say.
The grind, exactly. I'm going to the Christmas pageant this weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's on this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm actually, weirdly enough, this sounds like I have a 21st birthday party to go to this weekend.
Goodness, 21st.
I'm going to feel like an old man.
Yeah, I haven't been to one of them for a hot minute. I give you the hot tip. But I don't know about you, but I think the Christmas pageant's really early this year.
No, it's always the first Saturday in November, is it not?
I didn't think it was. I thought it was always like mid-November.
Maybe I don't know. I can't honestly tell you the last time I watched a Christmas pageant, nor been to the Adelaide Christmas pageant, to be completely honest.
The last time I went to the Christmas pageant, I was in the Christmas pageant.
Girl, what were you, Santa?
No, wow. This is a fat joke early? Is that
no? I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that.
No,
were you Santa?
No, I was a clown.
Oh, okay, that tracks.
Yeah, so it was actually, it's a funny story because I was, because the People's Credit Union or whatever, that People's Choice Credit Union, whoever it is.
Yeah, sure.
That put the pageant on. One of my ex-girlfriends actually worked for them, and so she got to be able to like put our names down for the pageant. But between putting our names down for the pageant and the pageant, we broke up. So I went there just El Solo, not knowing anyone.
Oh.
And that was good fun. It was a lot of fun. Dress up like a clown and run through the streets of Adelaide. I had a giant toothbrush in my hand, just like, you know, just having a ball. It was a lot of fun. But I haven't been since, so.
Sick. Yeah, I think I went as a child. I don't even know when the last time I watched it on television was. It's been a long time. I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe I'm just because I don't have children and I'm like too old to like care. But I guess I've been to our town's Christmas pageant, but I guess I just go because it's just like well, my family's there, you know? Like I just go and hang out and have some hot dogs and stuff, you know? Have some donuts and stuff. But
yeah.
I mean, Yeah, haven't. I don't think it is early. I could honestly be wrong, but I don't. I feel like it's always around this time.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't
I'm
know.
wrong.
I thought it was like a week or two early. That's all. I mean, people usually put their Christmas trees up then, so it's not too early.
Some people do. Some people have them up later. Some people have them up earlier.
Some you maybe just late taking it down. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll go
exactly.
with that. Should we press this number? It's just on pictures of Mitch Hinge. Generate.
Who isn't, honestly?
285. Oh.
Yes. I have nothing witty to say about that number.
Oh, no, neither do I. But here's a good question for us. If you were handed a megaphone and could blast out one message for the entire world to hear, what would you say?
Oh, I've already got it.
Okay,
I can go first this week.
Do it.
Put on shoes when you go in public. It's disgusting. Put on a pair of shoes. Yuck.
Yeah.
Is there anything worse than when you're walking through a store and you see some motherfucker walking through there and they have no shoes on? I'm like, that's gross. Put some shoes on. Put a pair of thongs on. It's really not hard at all.
Yeah.
Your feet would be so dirty. That's disgusting. Put some shoes on. I'd preach that message till the cows come home.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this is a little, like, just to back off of yours. Might not be my actual one, but man sandals are disgusting. Never wear them would be mine. You know the actual, like, Velcro strap over the top sandals?
Are you talking about the ones like
wear?
Are you talking about the ones that are kind of like in fashion now? Like the, what's it called ones that are like brown?
Not Birkenstocks. I will not
okay.
hear a bad word about Birkenstocks.
No, I like Birkenstocks. So that's fine.
I live in my Birkenstocks. And if it's
with
winter...
socks on?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the best. Birkenstocks and socks.
White long socks with Birkenstocks.
Mm-hmm. It's a match made in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Birkenstocks and socks. But the actual man sandal ones that have the front toe Velcro and then the
Okay,
Velcro
I know what you're talking about.
near
They're
the
gross.
yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah, yuck.
Never wear them in
Gross.
public. And
No.
it's like the best form of contraception in the world is a man wearing them.
That is actually true. Speaking of, while we're on the subject of things people shouldn't do in public, I'm not talking sexually.
Yeah.
Do you do what you want? If that's your freaky time, just you do what you want. Be safe. Anyway, why do people like? We're talking about like people not wearing shoes in public or like wearing disgusting things in public. Why do people wear what they wear in public? I mean, I'm not saying I'm like a fashionista, but like there's a certain level I have to look like to look presentable when I leave my home. Maybe we're different people, but I don't know. I can look like, casual and like a little daggy, like, oh, he's having a resty day. Like he's just doing what he's want. That's fine. But I'm talking like dirty people that just go out with like dirty clothes on. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. See, I take a lot of pride in not looking like I've put a lot of effort in.
Sure, but but that's not dirty.
No, it's not dirty. No, you're right. Yeah, I've always had a rule that if I was ever elected Prime Minister, which we can probably say isn't too far of a stretch for me getting elected Prime Minister soon.
Sure.
Is my number one rule would be that everyone has a mirror by their front door. And then you just have to give yourself a once over, up and down. Do I want to wear this out in public? Okay, then you can go. Because some people...
I see that.
It's like they got dressed in the dark and they don't know. Just,
Get your camera out. Yeah, get your camera out and have a look and go, maybe I don't look the best. Let me put on a clean shirt. Also, while we're at it, put on deodorant before you leave your house, people. It's disgusting when you walk past someone and they just smell like ass.
Yeah.
Like, I understand sometimes it's a little hard to smell your own brand. You're like, But, I feel like you get to a certain level of stink where you go, I think that cloud that's following me around, that's me.
Yeah.
Let me go put on some deodorant and then come back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
always
I'm not trying to be pretentious, but like, ugh.
I'm
I'm
always-
very self-conscious of how I smell.
Yeah, same. I'm always very paranoid that I smell, and I carry
Mm-hmm.
it. I make sure I've got like deodorant with me at work, and you know, always just an emergency can.
I have
just
like
in case.
So I think spray deodorant is a scam. That's a different conversation for a different day. But I keep spray deodorant at work just in case because it's a little easier to apply than roll on sometimes. I get it. So I keep one in my like pigeonhole at work, and then I have one I have multiple roll-ons just around the house. I'm like, what's that smell? Is that me? Let me just make sure. Let me put on. I always feel like, especially with roll-on, there's really no putting too much on. Like, you can just kind of go to your heart desires. I just don't want to be that guy that you walk past and you go, he's got like an off cheese smell. Let's fix that. You know what I mean? Like, yuck.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm a roll-on guy in the morning in the bathroom, but then if you need a little applicator during the day, just to top up on your way through. Yeah, I'm massive into that.
Because I'm a cologne man too. I wear cologne every day. I some people don't. I do. I have Jimmy Choo, I believe, is my scent at the moment.
I don't. I used to, but not at the moment.
I love putting on cologne. I love when there's nothing more. Someone actually said to me at work the other day, because I was like, oh, what's that smell? Is that me? And they're like, no, you never smell. You always have like a certain smell that's very nice. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, that's right. I do smell good. But yeah, I wear Jimmy Choo Blue for anyone that wants to know. It's a very nice scent. I got it from Maya. I got it from the Maya Center in Rundle Mall, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
The lady was like, do you have a scent? And I was like, no. And she's like, let's go around and find one. And I was like, all right, sure. That's the one I landed on.
Fine.
But cologne is very expensive, by the way. I get it why someone wouldn't wear it. Just wear some... As long as you're wearing some form of like deodorant and you smell okay, I don't care what you wear, to be honest.
Yeah. I am massive on smell, and like if I walk past someone that smells, like it sticks with you. You're like, oh.
Yep. It's a massive turn off too. If you could see like the prettiest attractive person in the world, if you walk past them and they stink, they become ugly very fast.
Yep. There's people at work that I'll specifically avoid walking near them because I know. I just already know. But that's all right.
I fortunately work with a bunch of relatively tidy women. So like for the most part, they all smell pretty good.
Yeah. See, every now and then I have to walk into
They smell clean, I guess you could say.
Every now and then I have to walk into the factory where people are like sweating their absolute dicks off in the big shed, you know. And it's
but at least they have a reason to stink. Like I still don't agree with it. Put some deodorant on them, but like there's people you just see out, and I'm like, well, I know you haven't been out, in the sun. Like you're just sitting around at home not showering. There's a difference.
I'm a massive. I'm an actual hoe for a shower. I love nothing more than a shower.
I sometimes shower twice a day. Yeah. I'll shower at night before I go to bed, and sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shower.
Yeah, I shower every morning when I wake up. Every now and then I try to have a shower at night time and then do the cold shower in the morning when I wake up.
I can't do it. I know it's very good for you, like your body. Apparently, it's like good for your skin. Isn't it good for your skin in that too?
Apparently. You feel amazing. Like you got so much energy throughout the day. They reckon it's like the equivalent of cocaine, the amount of like endorphins and stuff that it gives you.
Why though? Like I don't understand
it's just like
how that happens.
I don't understand.
I can't do it though. Like if the shower goes cold, I'm like, fuck, I can't do this. I got to get out. Like I'll have a warm shower sometimes. Like if it's a really hot day, I'll have a warm shower, but I can't bring myself to do a cold shower.
Oh, it absolutely sucks. There's nothing good about it. But afterwards, like the first time I did it was like, I did it and I was like standing in the shower trying to like encourage myself getting in there. I was like, just do it. I was like, just do it, you little bitch. Just do it. Like, psyching myself up. And then I like decided I was going to put soap on me. So the only way to wash it off was to get in there. And you only got to do like 30 to 60 seconds or something. 60 seconds, they reckon. So I got in there and toughed it out. And I was like, that sucks so bad. but I felt so good afterwards, and I had so much energy for the day. I was like, ugh, now I got to do it again because it felt so good.
I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, I didn't think I could, and I haven't done it many times since, but it definitely gives you a kick. You know what I did do on the weekend, though? I don't know what the weather was like up with you on the weekend, but on Sunday it was quite cold here, like 21, 22 degrees.
I don't even remember, to be honest. Oh, it was windy.
Yeah.
We had a really windy weekend, yeah.
So I had to clean the pool, and there was some big bits of gunk down the bottom of the pool. So I was like, I'm just going to jump in. So I just ended up swimming around the pool instead of doing what I needed to do. But that's just me to a nutshell, like to a T. Just get sidetracked and just jump in.
Wish I had a pool. I wish I could swim, but those are two things I don't know how to do or don't have.
Yeah. Here's another one that I want to shout over my megaphone to the world. It's okay to like musicals.
Yeah. No, it is. Like a musical. Go for
A
it.
guy can like a musical, okay? Leave me alone.
Yep. Do you love a musical? I think we've talked briefly about this before.
Have we spoken musicals? I love musicals. As you can see here, my today's Funko Pop is Alexander Hamilton from the Hamilton musical. That's my favourite musical. I also don't like...
generic. I'm generic with musicals. I like High School Musical, but I mean...
Who
it's a
doesn't
good
like
time.
High School Musical? That's like...
All three of them, too.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Number 2 is probably
And Camp
better.
Rock, too. Everyone... Why? I have this argument with everyone that likes High School Musical. The second one is the worst of the three.
No. You reckon?
The third one is the best. I
don't think
I still like all three. That doesn't mean I don't like number 2. Just if we're ranking them, that goes at the bottom for me.
Oh, see, I like it. I just like the Troy Bolton dancing through the golf course. Bet on it.
I have very strong opinions on High School Musical, just in general. I think like the villain of that movie is Gabriella. She's a total idiot. All she does is whinge and complain. Like something so minor will happen. She's like, "I'm moving back to Albuquerque," and I'm like, "What do you mean? It's like just break up with the boy if you don't like him that much. Stop saying you're gonna She threatens to move all the time. She's like, oh, she's one of those girls that's like, I don't want the like. She lights a fire and then runs away and she goes, "Oh, there's a fire over there." I'm like, you created that mess. At least Sharpay is like true to herself.
Yeah, is she the villain?
Well,
you've
I
blown
guess
my mind a
so.
little bit here.
Sharpay and Ryan are like the villains of that movie. And I'm like, no, they're like the icons in my brain. But like, they have the better songs all the time. Like the Sharpay and Ryan songs are always the groovier tracks.
Oh, they're
just
bops,
better. Yeah, exactly. Literally, they're bops to the top.
Yeah.
But Gabriella is just like a whiny, like, ooh, don't talk about me, but also like talk about me. I can't stand her. So I'm Team Sharpay and Ryan every day until I die.
Okay. Who wins the movie? So you reckon like the winner of the movie is Sharpay and Ryan?
Just like like you just mean like winner as in like the best?
Yeah, like come out of it looking the best.
It's Sharpay and Ryan. It's the best. And Sharpay is the most like consistent character from the first one to the last one. She's herself at the very end of that movie. They all go through changes. Like Troy was a basketball player when that movie started. In the end, he was like going to Juilliard or some bullshit. What the fuck? Like Sharpay was just herself. She's rich, she's pretty, and she's just awesome.
Okay. Yeah, right. No worries.
I'll stick to that.
What do you think, constitutes a movie being a musical or just a singy movie?
I think a musical to me is when they randomly break into song and dance.
Okay. Yep. So like
that's to me as a musical. They're just walking down the street and all of a sudden it's like bam, and then music starts and there's choreography and it's just like it's out of the blue and like kind of makes no sense. Well, it doesn't really make any sense.
So like Sister Act 2 isn't a musical. That's just a very it's a movie with a lot of music.
Yeah, it's a movie with music. There's a difference between a musical and a movie. Because when I think of Sister Act, I don't really think of the music in it. I think of Whoopi Goldberg having a good time. You know what I mean?
So like Pitch Perfect, which I'm an absolute hoe for Pitch Perfect.
Which I've never watched.
What? You've never watched Pitch Perfect? gosh,
No.
I thought that would be right up your alley.
Everyone thinks like I'd like Glee, and I'm like, no, I've never watched Glee. I just
I haven't watched Glee for a long time.
I've watched bits and pieces of Glee. I'm not like oblivious to it, but no, it was never. Yeah, Pitch Perfect. I've never watched. I watched Bridesmaids for the first time like a year ago.
That's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Yeah, right. I can't believe that. But yes,
I'm not a movie buff though. Like I've never been one to like go to away to watch movies. So like, you know, I grew up on like certain Disney Channel related things like High School Musical and Camp Rock and all of that bullshit. But like
Hannah Montana movie.
Hannah Montana in general kind of changed my life a lot. Like she was a girl in a wig and no one knew who she was. That's awesome. And I sucked that shit up when I was like 11. I was like, this is awesome. She just wears a blonde wig and no one knows her life.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I
You watch that show now though, and it's a bit like, ooh, this doesn't hold up that great. There's some of those kids shows that you watch when you were younger that like, yeah, this still rules. Lizzie McGuire is one of them. That's So Raven is one of them. Like Drake and Josh still holds up.
I love
but
Drake
there's
and
like,
Josh.
oh, great show. But there's some that you watch now and you're like, oh, this isn't very good. Hannah Montana is one of them, but icon nonetheless, I guess.
Yeah, there was lots of them. Even like, I don't know, you might be a bit young, but there was a show on when I was a kid called Rocket Power.
Doesn't ring a bell.
And they were like surfy kids, cartoon surfy kids that were into skateboarding and rollerblading and all the extreme sports. And I've tried to watch that since, like with Rory, and it is a turd of a show, but I loved it.
Yeah, there's some like I used to watch like All That on Nickelodeon, and it was like All That was like Saturday Night Live for kids.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Keenan and Kel were on it. You remember Keenan and Kel?
Yeah.
They were on it. Later on, like Jamie Lynn Spears and stuff was on it. Like later in the, but like the Amanda show, like Amanda Bynes, like they had like that was like a sketch show on Nickelodeon. I used to watch a lot of those. You watch those now, and you're like, this is utter stupidity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't really like age great, but then there's some that do. So like you take it with a grain of salt. Like iCarly, I can still watch now, and I'm like,
Well, they've
whoa.
made a modern version.
Yeah,
of
there's
that,
like
haven't they?
there's a they rebooted it. It just
Yeah.
got canned after
Did it?
Paramount canned it. Yeah, and it ended on like a cliffhanger or some bullshit. I don't know. I only watched like one season of the reboot because I was like, they're not children anymore. This isn't really
No.
fun. You know, it is weird. You've got into the conspiracy thing or all the like allegations of like that dude that made all those shows on Nickelodeon of being like a child predator.
Really?
Oh, do you want to go down this rabbit hole? We'll have fun with it.
Let's-
So I don't.
You tell me about this one, and I'm gonna Google like popular conspiracy theories, and let's comment on all of them.
Gotcha. So this is more of like allegations more than a conspiracy theory, but there's conspiracy within it. So Dan Schneider, he created like iCarly and Victorious and Zoe 101 and Drake and Josh, like all of those kids shows of that era on Nickelodeon were created by this guy. They were all predominantly featuring, you know, tweens, you know, that 13 kind of age, like that age range. Anyway, so there was all these allegations that Nickelodeon and Viacom were hiring all of these people for these shows, and he would like have scenes within the shows when he was hiring these, mainly with the young, like, I guess, I don't know how you would, like, it's a child, but like the good looking girls that he would hire, you know, like Jamie Lynn Spears and Ariana Grande, she was in Victorious, and you know, all of those girls. And he would have like interesting meetings without going into specifics with these women or these young ladies. And in scenes of the show, he would put in like his fetishes. Like if you actually go back and watch all these shows, the girls always put stuff on their feet. And
Yeah, right.
as a child, you just think it's like, ha ha ha, she's got tomato sauce on her feet. But he was like apparently like into feet, and he would like get off on that kind of stuff.
Ugh.
And there was allegations that he was like inappropriately touching a lot of these young girls, and like Sam from iCarly, Jeanette McCurdy, she wrote a whole book, and she got kind of pressured in by her family to go into child acting, and then he did a lot of inappropriate things to her, and they were all quiet at the time, and like the people that have tried to come out and speak about it at the time kind of got like shut down. They would like get kids out of like shopping malls and just like say, you want to be in a show, and then take them in rooms, and there's a whole thing. Please, I'm not doing it justice, like going through just saying little tidbits, but it's a whole thing. I'm sure a lot of people know about it, but like, yeah, a lot of like, if you watch, trust me, look it up on YouTube, Ray. Go like, just look in like Dan Schneider, like weird, stuff on YouTube, and you'll find like Carly in iCarly is just like got like whipped cream on her toes, and she's like touching her feet, and she's like the other girls are touching the feet in the show, and it's ha ha ha, it's kids funny, but like he was like getting off, and you don't realize that I didn't realize that as a 11-year-old watching these shows, like, oh, this is gross. Like now I watch it and I'm like, this is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, right.
And the dialogue in the show and stuff like that, a lot of it is like suggestive.
Yeah, okay. That's weird.
Yeah, it makes it very weird to watch those shows now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, gross. As you were saying that, I looked up most popular conspiracy theories, and the first two I read, I was like, let's not get into that. That's a bit deep and a bit like...
No.
So I went
Some of them are cooked.
Yeah, I went the most outrageous conspiracy theories. I think most conspiracy theories are outrageous.
Sure.
But I didn't want to go into the ones about like the Holocaust or JFK murder or something.
Yeah, let's not. We're feeling a little lighter today, maybe on a different episode. But I'm feeling a little like not really thinking a lot kind of episode.
So I went with the most outrageous, and there's an article here with 30 of them. So let's just pick some fun ones to discuss. Number one,
sure.
The moon landing was fake.
That's like the most like debated conspiracy theory ever. I don't honestly know, but I think the moon landing was real. But there is evidence to kind of not support that theory of like it being real, because there's a lot of like stuff of like, how the fuck did that actually happen in 1969 or whenever the shit it happened?
Yeah, but see, I'm like, with this one, I'm like, yeah, if they went to the moon, they went to the moon, but... And then some of the conspiracy theorists are like, well, why haven't we gone back? Well,
sure.
because it's a moon. There's nothing there.
What the fuck are you really going to... Yeah, what the fuck are you going to do?
There's nothing more up there to find out. Like, it's just a rock.
Well, but I guess then there's a whole other theory of like, is there life? There is life on other planets. I mean, I think I don't have any argument to tell me otherwise. There has to be life other than just on Earth. So I guess there is no real way of telling if there is more life if there's life on the moon now. That was quite a long time ago, 1969.
Yeah, definitely. This one's interesting. I've never heard this one before, but I just read the sort of little brief description it's got here, which I'll read to you after I say the headline. Number 5, most outrageous. Disney created Frozen as a distraction.
From what?
So here it goes. It goes on to say, people have long discussed the conspiracy that Walt Disney used cryogenics technology to freeze himself when he died. Even though Disney family refutes the claim, however, a new theory is that Walt Disney's company created Frozen as a way to hack through Google's search algorithm to distract possible consumers of information about Walt Disney's possible frozen procedure. So now when you type in freezing or frozen with Disney, it comes up as the movie instead of information about him cryogenically freezing himself.
I've heard that before, that is a thing that happened, like he's cryogenically frozen. But, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, is it not? Like, to create... But, who knows? Crazier fucking things have happened. Here's the thing with conspiracy theories. Sure, some of them are, like, way out there, and you're like, okay, whatever. But who am I to say that isn't true?
Yeah, definitely not.
I think I've said this many times. I think I've said this on this show. One of the conspiracy theories that is so outrageous is that Avril Lavigne is dead, and there's a clone or like a doppelganger that is her after like 2005. And you watch certain things and you're like, oh, this is kind of weird. And it's like why her music changed so much, and like her outfits changed, and like she just changed, like certain features changed. My sister truly believes that she died and there's another person playing Avril Lavigne. I don't know if I believe that, but who the hell am I to say that there isn't?
Yeah, no, I have this view with conspiracy theories where it's like, I don't actually care enough to fight both ways. Like,
sure.
Either way, I don't care if you believe that. I don't care if you don't believe that. I don't believe it. But I'm not going to go into the fact of, like, trying to prove it. It doesn't affect me that much. This one's a big divisive one. The world is flat.
Oh, that's one. The world is not flat.
No, it definitely not. Like,
it doesn't have corners. You would fall off. You would just fall. You would get to a corner of the earth and you would simply just fall off.
There wouldn't be a horizon if there wasn't a curvature.
Exactly.
So that one's...
There is no way on this world that there is no... that is just one I just don't understand how there's people that are flat earthers. Get out of here.
This one, Prince Charles is a vampire.
What in the fuck are you talking about?
It says, why? Question mark. Well, the Prince of Wales is related to Vlad the Impaler, the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula, and many royals in Charles's bloodline were known to have the disease porphyria, which is an iron deficiency that causes people to be sensitive to sunlight. They think that his low iron from sun sensitivity is just vampire shit.
Well, my iron's fucked. I get home at the end of the day and I'm like, I can't stand up. I'm a vampire, I guess. What the tits?
I think we can leave that one. Bigfoot, that's a good one, but you know,
what else can be said?
Exactly. Keep going. The moon isn't real.
Oh god, now so we faked the moon landing because it's not real now.
Yeah, so it's simply...
How can it not be real? We see it in the sky.
Well, flat earthers think it's just a projection because it's got nowhere to go. That's what it's saying here. Oh, this one. The Titanic didn't actually sink.
Oh, I've heard lots about the Titanic. Lots about that. There's lots of supporting supporting, I guess, theories around that. And like another ship, I remember reading something years ago, and I'm going to butcher this because I can't remember it properly. There was like another ship that sunk around the Titanic, but no one talks about it. But it was like worse or something along those lines. Again, I'm butchering it because I can't remember and I can't be bothered Googling it. But listen, ships in general, no. I'm not getting on a cruise ship. I'm not doing it.
Me either. And speaking of movies with unwarranted villains, Rose is the villain of Titanic.
Never watched it.
Oh, basically, Titanic is a movie of some old bitch telling about the time she got some side dick on a cruise. Like,
oh, that sounds like a good fucking time to me.
That's basically, she's just bragging about getting some side dick from like this poor guy on a cruise. That's the whole movie.
I'm into it. Listen, okay, I said I wasn't much of a movie buff. Like, it's not to say I haven't watched certain movies, but like 9 times out of 10, if you ask if I've watched a movie, the answer is no. Aladdin, never watched it. The Lion King, never watched it. Titanic, never watched it.
Oh my gosh.
I've watched the Star Wars movies. I've watched Disney Channel-ish era movies when I was a child. And I've watched Mean Girls. Other than that, I haven't watched it.
Oh my gosh.
And Pixar.
You need to
Pixar,
watch some of these movies. There's some really good ones that you're missing out on. The Abominable Snowman lives in Asia.
Let's skim past that one.
Yeah, I know. There's the last few are a little bit crazy. It says Queen Elizabeth I was actually a man.
Okay.
And died as a child. And to prevent the end of the royal line, she was replaced with a young boy. So they're saying that she didn't get to reproduce. So that, anyway. They're crazy. Do you know, speaking of movies, I wanted to open the complaints department again.
Oh, yes.
When you have like a million streaming services like I do because I'm a slut for a subscription, and you go to type in to find a movie that you've thought of, and you literally have every streaming subscription and you still can't get it on any of them, absolutely shits me.
Is there movies that don't exist on streaming services? I didn't even know that.
Yes. So, like, on the weekend, what did I go to watch? I went to watch, we were talking about Bring It On from back in the day.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
watch Bring It On. Go look it up. Not on any streaming services. You can buy it or rent it from Google Play or Apple, but it's not on any streaming services. And then there's like Step Up.
Bring It On is a weird movie.
You can watch Step Up. You can watch Step Up 1 on Stan, but you can't watch 2 or 3. And it's just every time I go to look up a movie that I want to watch, it's not on there. You know what movies I ended up watching? I started watching the series of. I'm halfway through them. Haven't watched them in a long time. American Pie. Probably haven't seen it.
Never watched it. It's not to say that I don't know what these movies are, or like I haven't seen like snippets of it. Like I know what American Pie is. Never watched a single second of the first one. I can say that pretty confidently. There's like 3 of them? 2 of them?
American Pie? No, there's 4.
There's 4 of them? Great.
There's
Sick.
American Pie, and then American Pie 2, and then American Pie The Wedding, and then American Pie The Reunion. All of them so inappropriate, so aged
I can imagine.
poorly. Hilarious.
They'd be cancelled in today's world if they come out now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. And they're so funny, and they've got the best soundtracks in the world. Like
Sick.
Blink-182, Sum 41, Offspring. It's like a pop punk emo kid's wet dream.
Hell yeah.
So
That sounds great to me. The Offspring, by the way, what a band.
have I ever told you about the story? I don't know what stories I've told you so far. Of the time that I seen Offspring at Soundwave.
Possibly? I don't know. Recall the story and I'll cut you off if I...
Soundwave, it was out in the...
I loved Soundwave. Great time.
So it was on it wasn't on the main stage, the Offspring, this year. They were on one of the second stages. And everyone was out there because it's the Offspring. And they were all sort of standing on the edge of the path. And this guy that's, let's just say, he'd had some pharmaceutical help to get some energy that day.
Sure.
Had climbed a tree to get a better viewpoint because we were pretty far back. So he climbed a tree right to the top of this tree. And he just kept on getting higher and higher. And obviously as the higher you get
Literally.
the higher you get up a tree, the thinner the branches get.
Sure.
And then they start a jam. I can't even remember what song it is, but it's one of their absolute belters. And everyone's just bouncing. And so he starts bouncing in this tree. And everyone notices he's on this branch probably like this thick. I don't know, probably the width of like a Metworth sausage or something. And he's up there probably like 4 meters in the air. 3-4 meters in the air, bouncing on this little branch, and everyone's seen him do it and just like form this circle. Next second, crack, down he comes out the tree, hits the deck in this big circle where everyone's like created, and then he just got up and kept going. Like he would have been sore when he come down, but
Sure,
he was okay at the time. But yeah, that's every time I think of hear the Offspring, I think of that guy falling out of a tree.
The Offspring is something that my older brother loved when I was younger. Like he's fairly older than me, and he used to listen to it, and I always remember that intro of one of their songs. I can't say I'm like the biggest Offspring fan in the world. Well, obviously that, but I remember my friend's got a girlfriend and he hates that bitch. I remember that all the time. I don't know why, but I always remember when I hear like the Offspring come up, because I listen to a lot of like pop punk music, so I listen to a lot of playlists like that on Spotify, and randomly sometimes the Offspring will come up and I'll be like, oh shit, I remember this song, like and it's like takes me back to like 2002 when they were like relevant. They still make music. I don't think it's very good anymore, but
they're no Blink. I've been listening to like
Blink 182's new album is so good.
I know. I love it. I've been listening to it.
It's so weird too, because like you would think like sometimes when bands come back and they make the same kind of music they were before, a lot of people are like, ugh, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't feel right in this day and age. But it's like the perfect time to have that music back in our lives.
We were talking about this week, and in that Zane Lowe interview, he wraps it up perfectly. It's basically Enema of the State remade if they had the skills and life experience to make it again. So it sounds very similar. It sounds very Blink, but it's very mature and it's very polished. And the words are like...
It's like... I don't know. It's like... At the time when all that music came out, all of us, whatever age, were so immature and we were ready just to like rebel against life and be like, fuck yeah. And now we're like older. We don't want to go to bed past 9 o'clock, but we still want to have a good time for the few hours that we have energy.
Yeah,
and like it's the best, and we want to have the same fun we were having when we were 10, but we also don't want to rock the system. And that's how that music feels. I don't know if that makes any fucking sense.
Yeah.
But that's how it feels. It feels like you're just older, and it's just like a moment in time where you can step back into your younger self and just like, you know what I mean? Just like fucking wild out for a minute. But then also, I want to have a nice hot shower and be tucked into bed and have a good sleep.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
Yeah, so it's basically like... They grew up with us a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
they still have the nostalgic sound that you're listening to Blink, because it definitely sounds like Blink.
It's Blink. Yeah, it sounds like Blink.
They've grown up as well, and we've grown up,
and
it's about life shit. But then also it's a little bit not about life shit, and it's a little bit silly, and it's a little bit immature, and it's a little bit, which is Blink. Like the start of the song where Tom DeLonge, that Dance With Me song, where it's like, when I teach masturbation, I just say have fun with it. Like, that's so Blink. Have you ever listened to their live album?
No, I don't listen to a lot of live music, like, if I'm not there. Is that weird? I don't know. I don't like the sound of it in my ears.
No, they released an album of their live set, and it's like, the music's made to sound good when they're actually playing music, but they have like a lot of riffing in between. And that's like peak Blink. If I'm going to listen to a Blink album that's not their newest one, I'm listening to their live album.
Sure.
And it's got them like teasing each other in between. It's got them, and it's just, silly and immature and exactly what you expect from Blink-182.
Yup. It's good to have them back. I don't know how long this like feeling will last with them. I don't know. But it's cool why it's happening, so I don't give a fuck.
Definitely. They're coming down to Adelaide next year.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, fair.
I'd be keen to go see them, but I don't know.
Pricey.
Yeah. What was I complaining about? I was complaining about something.
I don't remember, but it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Finding things on streaming. You know what else I want to complain about? You know when you drive beside people in the car, and like everyone else is doing the speed limit, but they're like flipping out because they can't get around someone, and they're like throwing their arms around like they're the only person in the world, and they've got somewhere to be more important than everyone else. And I'm just like, shut up. Like, why are you more important than everyone else in the road? Why don't road rules apply to you? And then I just... What I end up doing is driving exactly the same speed as the car in front of them, next to them, so they can't go anywhere.
I'm not like a road rage person. I can get kind of irritated sometimes, but I'm not like, like fuck out, fuck off. But like, there's two ways that I can think when it comes to driving. The first way is, okay, things are just happening around me. I can't control it. Let me just go with the flow. The other way to think is, get the fuck off the road when I'm on the road. And I do understand that mentality, but also, I'm not more important than anybody else.
Yeah.
So I don't mean it in like a sense of like, I mean it in like move out of my way because I'm just sick of I just want the road to myself. Not because I want to speed, just because I don't like human beings.
Yeah.
But like, I don't understand how you can get so frustrated when you're driving, because it's like, you're literally holding life in the palm of your hands. And if you are rushing around, it's just going to cause an accident and you will die. So I don't understand why people do what they do when they drive. Especially like, because I do a lot of open road driving when I'm going into Adelaide, you could imagine going up certain Port Wakefield Highway, that 2-lane highway that you get to in the countryside. The amount of people that do not do the speed limit and they just speed, and they speed right past you when you're sitting on like 112.
Yeah. I don't get it either. I like the relaxing, just get there, drive. I don't get road rage at all. I don't get anything like that. I think you can probably tell, like, I don't get competitive, I don't get road rage, I'm just like,
Can't relate.
whatever.
I get it a little bit, but I'm not like fucking throwing my arms out the car and like telling people to go fuck themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, fuck's sake, get out my way. But I'm not like flipping them off because I'm scared that one day, as a 5'4" human being, one day I'm going to flip the wrong person off and they're going to get out of their car and they're going to beat the shit out of me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just don't have that in me. I probably don't pay attention enough either. I'm in my own little world while I drive. So if I'm...
Is that the safest?
Like, I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, but like my mind is occupied with other stuff, or I'm listening to something, or, you know, just stuff like that.
Sure. You know, it's weird. I don't know why this come into my brain. And for all means, tell me if you're just like, I don't really want to talk about this, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. You mentioned before how like you can be in your own little world. Do you know what I like never really understood I wasn't around bad people when I was in my early 20s, but it was definitely a time of like people were experiencing life. Let me put it that way. I was always one that the things that make you feel lighter in the world, you know, certain helpers, was around me, but I never did them.
Nah, me either.
And I was always the like one. I was like, I'm gonna take that one little white pill that will kill me. So I was like, I'm just not gonna touch them. Now, that's not to say that I didn't smoke a little weed here and there. I've tried that. It wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but I never did anything outside of that. And sometimes I think to myself, like, not in like a way of like, I would love to just go and try drugs, but I think a little part of me has just always been like, I wonder what they were feeling, because I never experienced that.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to try. I honestly never, I'm past that age in my life where I want to try anything like that.
Yeah.
But like, I seen all my friends physically do it. And it's like, I was just always the one that was like, nah, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. And it's just always like a weird, random thought when I'm just like, those random times when I do enter a club, I'm like, wow, like probably like 60% of these people are all off their face on some kind of drug. And I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never done any of that. The only thing that I've been tempted by is, I keep hearing great things about microdosing mushrooms, but
oh, right, yeah. My cousin's done those, and she was like, it was weird. She hallucinated a truck in her bedroom.
Yeah, right. So that's the only one that I've been like curious about. Like, I don't even really drink that much. I don't.
Me either.
I make bad enough decisions sober, so I don't need to add any other obstacles in my way. But yeah, I've never done any of that. But I know what you mean. It's like it's been around.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, just never... I was randomly thinking about it the other day. Like, someone was having a conversation with me, and I was like... It never really occurred to me properly until someone had kind of asked, like, they were like, when I was this young, I did this, and I was like, wow, I've never done anything like that before. And I was thinking about all the times that I've, like, seen it physically around me, and I'm like, it is weird that I just... Yeah. I guess I was around good friends because they never pressured me to do it. But, like, you can do what you want, but they didn't pressure me to do it. But, like, also that I never had a strong enough, like, desire to be like, yeah, let me have some of that. Like, it's I don't know. I don't know what... I'm not saying it's good nor bad. I'm just saying it's just an interesting thought that, I never did that stuff. And I'm sure a lot of people would probably be like, well, you missed out on some things when you were younger. It's like... Okay, I guess so. In your mind, that might have been it. But, I mean, yeah. Like, I just... The very few times that I did have a little puff of the devil's lettuce, if you want to call it that, I was so paranoid that I hated it. Because I was just, like, hiding because I thought the police were going to put me in jail. So, like, why does that... That doesn't seem like that wasn't a fun experience. So why would anything else? I know everything's different, but, like, it's weird to think about. Don't know why I brought that up, but I just had it on my brain.
No, that's... Yeah. I quite often... think about, like, something gets to me where it's like, if I hear something and then I talk about it and then I hear it again and again and again from other things where I'm not like expecting to hear it, I'm like, this is a sign. Like, I'm not a big signs guy. Like, but like, for example, I like joked that maybe I need to try mushrooms because I'd heard someone talking about microdosing mushrooms and how good it is for your mental health and whatever. And then, like, for the next 3 weeks, literally, I reckon in 3 weeks, literally 7 people I heard talk about it, either on podcasts or radios or...
Weird. Ugh.
Yeah, in person. And I was like, okay, this is a sign. Maybe I do need to try this. But I never did. I haven't yet.
Who knows? Who knows what I'll do in my life? But it is, I don't know. I don't really feel like a part. I guess the feeling is not like a feeling of missing out. I think that's a good thing to probably, of doing it. But I guess more people than you think probably have done them in their life when they were younger. And you're just like, oh, I guess I just didn't.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Our parents were young once too. I mean, I'm sure they did all sorts of things. And
yeah, and by the way, when you get older, your parents sometimes just randomly say things they did as like younger people. I'm like, no, you're my mum. I don't need to hear about your time when you were doing that. No, like you're my mum. Like you work at Woolworths. You know what I mean? Like no.
If you work at Coles, I'd be willing to hear you out. But well, it's Woolworths, so no, you're not allowed to tell me that. You know
what I mean? No, it's just like normal. Like my mum's like above that. But whenever I hear random little story, I'm like, no, don't tell. I don't need to know that about you.
Yeah. You want to know you know how I've got lots of fun facts? I've got a great fun fact. It's my new go-to fun fact when I'm trying, like, well, not when I'm trying to tell people facts, but like if fun facts ever come up, this is my new go-to. So Mr. Kellogg's, the guy that created Kellogg's, do you know why he created cornflakes and why cornflakes are like they are?
No.
He created them to stop people from masturbating.
I'm scared to ask why, Ray, but why is that the case?
So, Mr. Kellogg's was deeply religious and believed that masturbation was a massive sin.
Great. He sounds awesome.
And that sugary cereals and breakfast foods were giving people so much energy and so much desire to want to sin, as he called it. So he made cornflakes as bland and as boring as he could so that people were less inclined to masturbate.
So you're telling me that Mr. Kellogg's created the most bland cereal he could think of so people would stop touching their penis.
Yeah. And people would say, did it work? Like, how many times have you wanted to masturbate after cornflakes?
I mean, I guess my brain doesn't automatically just have a bowl of cornflakes and then go, you know what I need to do right now? I need to jerk off. That's what I need to do.
So it worked.
I guess. But to be fair, if I'm eating cornflakes, I'm putting half a canister of fucking sugar on that shit.
Exactly. Because you can't eat them without
You're like eating the cornflakes and you're like, you know what this needs? About 5 tablespoons of sugar. And then I'm good.
Yeah. So
you just end up like taking the lid off and just like pouring it in. It's just like so sugary. I guess I've never been, not to be gross, but I've never been horny after eating fucking cornflakes.
Fruit Loops is a different story though, isn't it?
Oh, then I'm basically sticking my dick in the Fruit Loops then, Ray, so you know.
It's that toucan's got it going on after 3 mouthfuls of that sugary goodness.
Hey-oh.
Toucan
Let's party.
Fruit Loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Cocoa Pop monkey. Yeah. But he's actually quoted saying that, so it's not even conspiracy theory. He's quoted by saying that he wanted to make it as bland as possible. Stop people touching themselves.
I can't really say I'm a cereal kind of guy. I don't eat a lot of cereal. I go through phases, I guess, where all I want to eat is cereal, but it's not like a regular staple of my breakfast. But if it is, I eat rice bubbles.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit like lactose intolerant, so I can't really...
Oh, I am too.
Yeah, so actually that'll lead into a good story from my week. a
Did
little.
you shit yourself because you had a full cream milk?
No.
Fucking, I've been there, mate.
No, this is nearly the opposite. So you know how I said last week that we had gastro going through our house,
Oh yes.
and
Great.
I was like hypochondriac, like I think I'm getting sick. So this one day, it was like Monday or Tuesday last week. I was like, I'm getting sick. I can feel it. I can't afford to get sick. I got too much on this week. So went to the chemist and boofed about 6 gastro stop. I wasn't getting sick. So then I was absolutely stuck for until about Sunday or Monday this week. So like a full week.
You hadn't shit.
Yeah, I hadn't shit for nearly a full week.
Oh no, Ray!
So because I just absolutely hooned.
You overdid it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I wasn't even sick. So basically, I took the opposite of a laxative when I didn't even need to.
Great.
So I just absolutely bound myself up, and I was like, "There's only one thing for it. I can't get it." I'm like, "We're gonna have to have milkshakes Saturday afternoon."
Oh no! Did it flow out of you? Like
no,
it
didn't. It just made me feel really ill. I think because I've like fully stopped any milk products. It's like when I have a little bit, it doesn't really do that much. But
milk. See, so I'm okay with cheese, like a little bit of cheese, and my body's fine. But if I have milk, I'm like, it's over. Like I'm like, it's like you need to get away from me because I'm about to like explode, kind of deal. But I have oat milk. I'm an oat milk drinker, so like I can still drink. I drink coffee and I have that in my cereal if I was to have cereal or whatever it may be. But it's ooh.
So the milk didn't even work.
How'd you shit then, Ray?
It was like a
Did
boulder.
it just happen?
It just happened, yeah.
Yeah.
Gradually. I just got there.
You would have like built the toilet up. It would have just been like
it was
just keep pressing flush, hoping for the best.
Every time I ate, I felt like I was going to explode more and more. I was like, oh god, this is like
every time you went to fart, you were like, I can't trust this one. I've got to go to the toilet.
Well, it was like the opposite. I was like free and easy. I was like, if anything's coming, it's like it's not coming with a vengeance.
Yeah, true. You would have just been happy to fucking shit, even if you shit yourself at that point. I would have been like, I don't care where I shit as long as I shit somewhere.
Yeah.
Before we wrap things up, on a bit of a dull and just a darker note, Matthew Perry passed away this past weekend, and it was so sad. I was like, what the hell? I think all of I know we're a bit different in age, but I feel like our generation grew up on Friends at some point in their life, and Chandler taught me a lot about comedy that I didn't even know I had in me.
Chandler was the funniest character on Friends. Easily.
His timing and that was like Matthew Perry's timing as that character. I know he did other stuff and whatever, but I mean, everyone knows him for his role as Chandler. But his timing as a comedian is kind of like very rare.
Oh, yeah.
That you get someone and he kind of shaped a lot of characters in sitcoms, at least in American sitcoms, for years to come after Friends had even finished. It was 54 apparent drowning, I believe that's what they said, in like his jacuzzi. I know he had a lot of like struggles in his life and all of that kind of stuff. It was very well documented that he went through some shit, but you know, he, for the most part, is what we know, he come out on the other side of that, and it was a bit of a weird one. I was like, certain celebrity deaths are just like, oh, that one hits a little closer to home because I grew up with him.
Yeah.
It was in my living room, in a sense, for so many years. Like, I used to watch... I haven't really... admittedly, I don't really watch Friends at all anymore. But as a kid, I used to, like, watch that over and over and over and over. It was always on Foxtel at some point. Friends was always on. It still is now. It would be... I haven't watched... I've seen lots of TikToks about him, and I'm like, oh, this is sad. Like, I watched a lot of Friends, and yeah, he taught me a lot about myself in the sense of like that kind of humor and that kind of timing. A lot come from Chandler.
He was great. The character was great. I love Friends. His book that he released last year, It was one of the best I've ever read or
Yeah, he
actually
has an
read.
incredible story.
I didn't read it. I got the audiobook version,
Yeah.
which I believe, like, there's something to be said about an audiobook where you know.
Oh, I'm listening to an audiobook at the moment. Brittany's book.
Oh, really? Is it good?
It's wild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's so good. Yeah.
Does she read it?
No, she has
Okay.
like someone. There's like a pretty well known celebrity that reads it, but for the life of me, I can't think of her name. But it would be cool to have Brittany do that because Brittany's got she has a very unique way of speaking.
Yeah. So Matthew Perry reads his for his audiobook, which adds another layer to it because you can hear the disappointment in his voice when like he gets to a bit about a relapse or he gets to, any of that.
Because that'd be awful to talk about, especially in a public setting. That would be like fucking awful, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So that was a amazing book with a really sad story, if you know what I mean. Like, there's no positive outcome. Like, even... So, did you watch that Friends reunion?
Yes.
And everyone was like, oh, look how shit he looks. Look how terrible he looks. He can't, Well, at the start of the book, he talks about how, like, a month or so before his bowel exploded. And he had to have like emergency surgery and his stomach ripped out basically. And then he spent like a week or two in hospital. And you're like, yeah, no wonder he looks shit. Yes, he had his drug problems, but like he's been through it. And like, I just felt so sorry for the guy. Like he had his demons, had his demons 100%.
But it's not like he was like hiding the fact that he had any of these demons. He was very open with the fact that I know it was a little bit later in life, but even I believe from my memory and stuff that I've read and watched, it was pretty well documented when he was on the show that he had demons and that he had to take time away from the show. And like, you can tell in between seasons when he's like relapsed and stuff like that because of the way his body is and stuff like that. And I feel like he was pretty open throughout his whole career and his whole life. Like it's any of our business anyway, but like, he has a very, I guess, ultimately a pretty sad story because of just how, it's kind of, it's weird to say, but it's ended now.
Yeah, definitely. So it's one of those ones that I'm thinking about going and listening back to now that he's, in retrospect, but yeah, I feel like with listening to Britney's at the moment and stuff like that, I've learnt a lot about just what she's gone through and stuff like that. And when the world kind of looked at her in a similar way, I guess, in a lot of ways to Matthew Perry, she had a lot of well-documented issues. And just the way that the world looked at her, like when she shaved her head or when she gained weight or when she, did this thing. It's like, well, you don't really understand what was going on in her life in that point. And it's the same with him. So it is kind of interesting to listen to hers at the moment and be like, whoa, like I don't know if you've heard, Ray, but all the stuff about like Justin Timberlake and her and him agreeing to an abortion and and like him kind of cheating on her, and then the stuff that he publicly come out and made a song about her, and like Cry Me a River's about Britney, and like when he was the one that kind of ended things and kind of painted the picture that she was the evil one, and then record labels fighting against her and her dad and her family, like that's pretty well documented. But I don't know if you're that into Britney's. I'm honestly not the biggest Britney guy in the world, but it's a fascinating story. Yeah, I love stories like that. I like listening to the stories. Like, yeah, so I love an audiobook and
I hope she does an audiobook someday because then I feel like you would probably listen to it.
You know what, like the Eddie Betts book isn't him reading it and you can still get the same picture.
Yeah, you still can get like the person that's doing it. You can still kind of you can, if you're laying back, kind of listening to it, you can kind of be like, all right, Britney's here.
Yeah. I don't know. So the Matthew Perry one's read by him, and a couple of other people's biographies I've listened to. Sorry, are read by them, and it gives a different perspective. Do you know what I mean? Like, if someone was to read something out, like if I was to read your biography out, I don't feel it the same way that you do. So when it comes out of your mouth, it hits differently because you know the emotion behind that paragraph, that line, that chapter, whereas I wouldn't be able to hit that same note.
No, I get it.
But yes, that was a somber way to finish. Maybe I'll say one more thing that I can shout over a megaphone to the world. What can I say?
I don't know what else. I don't know what else I'd say.
Yeah, me either. I don't know it either.
Like something crazy. Let's bone. Yeah, something like that. Something crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's bone. That would be a weird
let's
thing
bone.
to
Just
shout
like
out to.
Point out. Yeah, but you could just shout it out and then be like, everyone be looking up, be like, hey, that one, you.
Yeah.
You right there.
Yeah. All right. Great work.
Cool.
Great work.
Yep.
I mean, Instagram.
Great work.
Great work. I don't know why I said it like that. Great work.
Great work.
Great work.
Great work. Great word speaking there.
Social media. Apple's orange.
Follow it.
Yeah, follow it. Like it. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about the pod as well. And then, yeah, I mean, have a great week. Go catch all Josh's stuff. It's premium live event week, so Josh is doing his live stream, which is one of my favourite things about premium live event weekend.
We've been doing them now since... I think we're coming up to year 3 of doing these. We have not missed a single premium live event simulation in these games since they come out. So go and watch it. This drops Friday, so it'll be like tomorrow morning from the time that this drops.
Cool.
Basically, if that makes any sense.
I'll have to watch it back because I'll be at the pageant, but it is one of my favourite
you'll be at the pageant.
things.
I won't be, bitch. I'll be freaking living my life for... whatever the fuck pay-per-view it is, I can't remember.
Crown
Crown Jewel.
Live from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Saudi, they love me in that country. They love my kind. They love us.
Yes, where Finn Balor's going to wear jocks to the ring, but a woman better not show some wrist.
And don't you dare kiss another man. Don't you dare do it.
But anyway, so that was... Yeah, we'll speak to you next week, I guess.
We will. Episode 10 next week. Get keen.
10. Okay. See you.
Peace.